Ahoy there mateys, in the last video I showed you the basic app structure and we installed the mail package, so we've got a mail server. Today I'm going to show you the Bone command line interface and we're going to integrate Doctrine into Bone Framework. So here we can see the machine's already running, so if I open a new tab in here, the first thing we usually do is eval the Docker machine environment variables, which then allows us to run Docker compose, and we're going to say exec in the PHP container /bin/bash. That takes us in there, and now you can type bone and you get the Bone Framework command. Available commands, there's not a lot here. We've got the asset deploy command. What that does is when you've got vendor packages that have got files that belong in the public folder, then it will symlink them in there and it will become available in the public folder. But anyway, what we want to do today is install bone-doctrine. Here it is, and again it's just a case of adding the package class in. So let's just require that via composer. Composer require Delboy 178 / bone-doctrine. That will pull in all the dependencies. There it is. Once that's installed, we can go into our packages class here and we can just add the Bone Doctrine package, like so. And now that means when you run the Bone command again, this time you'll see that you've got a lot of migration commands for dealing with the database. So what I'll show you just now, so I go in. This is SQL Pro. This is what I use to connect to my Docker projects. Just pop in the IP address, the one that we used in the etc. hosts, and the routing password is in the Docker compose YAML. Connect there. We have an empty database called Awesome, the details of which you can get in the config folder, bonedb. That's we're in development environment, so it's overridden by these ones here. You can see the host is MariaDB as based upon our Docker compose YAML. There it is, MariaDB. So that's what we put in there. And again, the credentials, they're set in here as well. And in our app, we'll create a new directory, call that entity, and new class, and we'll just call this anything, doesn't matter. The namespace is Bone App, so I'll take that, and up here we'll put Bone App entity. Give it an ID, we'll give it a name, and we'll generate getters and setters for both of those, like so. And to turn this into an entity, it's just standard Doctrine annotations we'll be using. It's going to be a string. In fact, hold on, that says mixed. I'm going to regenerate them. This will be an int. generate getters and setters, and this time, yeah, there we go, it uses an int, etc. So that's that. So then all we need to do is pop in the doctrine annotation stuff. Okay, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of how to use doctrine. You can always check their docs for that. But we use, what's that? But we use doctrine ORM mapping as ORM, like so. Then we can say at ORM slash entity to say that's an entity. I'm just going to quickly steal some code from here. So I'll just pop that in here, and I'm just going to take this line as well. And I'll pop that in there. So now it knows that it's an entity to go in the database, and we're almost done. What we need to do is go into our app package and tell it that we actually give it entities as well. So we can go in here and we can say an entity registration interface, like so. You'll see that it's saying error because we haven't implemented the interface yet. So what we do here, generate, and we'll say implement methods, get entity path, that's the one we want, and all it's looking for, why is that only, that should have a public in there, I need to update that entity clearly. I'll put that in this end. What we'll do here then is tell it where the entity path is, and that's going to be in the directory that we're in, which is source / entity, like so, and of course we'll add some doc blocks to help that do that. So back into our terminal here, and if we say bone, you can say migrant diff, but if the first letters are unique, you can say M:D, it's a bit quicker. Do that, and you'll see that it's generated a migration file. Now before I run it, I'll just quickly show you what it actually generated. So in our data migrations folder, you'll see that there's this, and there you go, it creates the table, like it has an up method and a down method. So when you run it, it creates it, and if you reverse it, it runs the down one and it gets rid of it. So all you need to do to actually do that is just tell it to migrate. You're about to run doctrine database migrations, yes. And there we go. So if I now go into here and refresh this, there you go, you've got a migration table which tells you which of your files, again that's based on, see it, version, and it's got the date stamp there. So there you go, it tells you when that ran, and there's a table, ID and name, and that's basically it. So if you go ahead and add something to, where is our anything class, right? So say we added something else, right? I don't know, just for the purposes of simplicity, I'll just put in last name here. Last name. Right, so our entity has changed. So now if we run the bone migrant diff command again, it will figure out what's different. It's found new stuff, right? I'll show you what happened. There's the new one. So now it's saying alter that table, add last name, blah, blah, blah. Right, so awesome. You just say migrant migrate, bang. You sure you want to run this? Yes. And if we refresh this, boom, we've now got ID, name, and last name. So that's it. Now, I was telling you about bone console commands. If you create your own console command, let me go into the package class here. App package. you've got your command registration interface, right? Again, it's red because we've not implemented the method yet. But if we go down here and we say, okay, let's implement that method, there it is, console registration interface. And all we do is we return an array of the commands. So you can say return an array, like so, and that could be a new whatever command. These are the commands are based on the Symfony console component. So I'm not going to teach you that, but if you want to learn how to make these things, then you can go into existing code of mine and see how it's done. So for instance, into vendor, Delboy 1978 UK, Booty is my thing that does the, here's the commands here. There you go. So it's just extending the Symfony command, and there you can see it here, Symfony console command, and it all happens in the execute thing. So you can put whatever you want in there, and then your command will run, so long as you've got that returned in your app package or whichever package you're working on, and then you're going to get that appearing in the Bone command. So that's it basically for now. Join us in the next video where I'll be showing you how to get a full user registration system automatically installed. You just require it in, run the database migrations, and suddenly you have a whole load of new endpoints where you can register a user, forget your email. We'll also be looking at Mailhog because the emails don't go out to live email addresses. Mailhog catches them all, and you'll see how that works as well. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.